Self-love is not performative. Self-love is not in the long bath or the trip to the spa or the meditation in and of itself. Self-love is the feeling that you activate when you do those things. It's not something that you can do and do and do and then eventually something change. It's something that you have to feel from the inside out. And what you have to understand about loving yourself, or the lack of self-love, is the universe and the world around you will respond to the way that you see yourself. So if your level of respect, love, compassion, empathy, care, attention to and for yourself is not reflective of what it is that you desire, understand the world is going to mirror that back to you. So you can look at the relationships outside of yourself, and you can look at the people and say, well, why are they treating me this way? They are simply a reflection of what is going on in your inner world, how you allow you to treat you. Because when you start loving yourself, it's not going to feel, especially if you come from a background where you've never been taught this and you've never seen this, when you start loving yourself, it's not going to feel like what you think it's going to feel like. It's not going to be this grand light bulb moment and it's, I got it. No, it's going to feel uncomfortable, because it's going to put you in a position to start making decisions that shift your relationships. They shift your finances. It shifts the decisions, shift how you interact with others and how you allow others to interact with you. That's the key, and that doesn't always feel good. Telling that person that you had a 4-year on again, off again relationship with that this isn't cutting it, that doesn't feel good, because your body and your nervous system is used to what you've been doing. So when you start to change things in your nervous system, it literally rattles the core of you that has been built around a lack of self-love. So you will hear your mind say, I don't want to do that. You will hear your mind resist when you say, let me take some time for me. What does that even mean? What does that look like? Why do you need time? Don't you have something more important to do than sitting up in the bathtub all day? Ain't you supposed to get up early in the morning if you ever want to be a millionaire? These types of ideas have inundated and penetrated our sphere, whether it be from society, TV, family, upbringing, grandma, best friend, whomever it's coming from or came from. Somewhere in you it has crystallized in such a way that now there's nobody who has to do the outside work. Now it's you fighting with you. So what do we do in those moments where we find ourselves resisting the higher version of ourselves? Because after a while in your spirituality, the only fight that's left is you versus you. You are your own worst enemy and or your own best friend. So what has to change isn't the people outside of you. What has to change is your mind, the other side of your mind. The part that's resistant has to stop responding to the part that's trying to connect with your higher self, that's trying to walk you into the place of your higher self, they can no longer converse. Because this one is always going to try to keep you here, and don't fault yourself for that, because that is your nervous system and what it is used to and what it is comfortable with. Your nervous system is designed to signal to you. It is designed to signal to you when there is danger, when there are things that threaten your very survival. But also understand that your nervous system right now is trained to act out of survival. So it is going to resist anything that is good for you. But the thing about things that are good for you, especially when they're outside your sphere, things that are good for you are always going to feel like a threat when you're living in survival mode. A good friend can come along, but if you're still living in survival mode from things that happened 15 years ago, you're going to look at that friend as though they are a threat, as though they are something that is coming in to harm you or has the potential to harm you, when in actuality, they are the manifestation of what's going on over here with your higher self. But that monkey mind over here is chattering too loud for you to even hear it. So you end up crossing out someone who could have been the very thing, the very person that you needed to help you and support you in that next stage. Like said, it has to start inside before it gets outside. And you have to start with stopping the resistance that this mind is trying to fight this mind with. Because your higher self is saying, you don't have to meditate for 20 minutes. I don't care if the meditation recording is 20 minutes long. I'm just asking you for 3. Oh, well, I don't want to do that right now because, do you see? That has to stop. At some point, you have to take accountability for the lack that you are allowing. You have to say enough is enough. And only you can make that decision. Only you can make that choice. And like said, no, it doesn't feel good, because what we're looking for is instant gratification, because that is how we are conditioned right now in today's society. We're looking to say, if I say the mantras, if I do the affirmations every morning, then magically I'm going to feel different tomorrow. And that's not how that works. It doesn't work that way, not because it can't work that way, because one of the faults, one of the things that people say when they're committed to their nonsense, they say, well, change doesn't happen overnight. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. But see, it's not that change doesn't happen overnight. It's the mounds and the layers of nonsense, of bull that you are buried under, that you have to start to pull up. You have to pull those weeds out of the ground one by one by one. And that's what takes time. That's what doesn't happen overnight. Because before you can even pull them, you have to identify them. And then once you identify them and see them, now you have to be human and sit with the hurt of them. You have to go through the grief process of who you used to be and what you used to allow and why you did it in the first place. Nobody just gets to a lack of self-love overnight. Things have happened in your life. Things have changed in your life. Things have gone unexpectedly in your life, and those things hurt. But knowing that you're here right now lets me know that surviving, you did it. Now, in this time, in this season, it's time to thrive. And that takes work. That takes looking at the true reason why you don't like getting up in the morning. That turns into looking at the true reason why you undereat or why you overeat. Did the undereating come from survival? Did it come from those days where you couldn't afford to pay your bills consistently and you never left that mindset? The overeating, does it come from comfort? Is it a habit that you developed as a person, as a young person, as an older person, to ease that pain? Because one thing about food is always going to taste good. It's always going to give you that good feeling. But you and I know that high does not last long. Why did you start overeating? What did you feel? Who was it? What situation was it? And it's okay, because when you hit that thing, it's going to hurt. Your body is going to signal to you exactly where you are and exactly what hurts. And it may cause you to double over. But sweetie, it's already done. So there's no hurt or harm in looking at it. I know how strongly you feel about it, but I promise you, you will survive taking the cover off of that old wound. Because the only way to grow is to look back and understand where you have come from and what it cost you to be who you are now. See, now we're getting into the part of self-love where you actually can look at yourself and see that there is something there to love, because you have sacrificed a lot. You have given a lot, and it cost you a lot to still be here. And a lot of times when we're moving through what we have to move through to survive, we don't look at the carnage. We don't look at the wreckage. We don't look at the ruin, because you can't. Because if you do, you may find yourself stuck there grieving at that moment when the enemy is still shooting at you. So don't take this moment to blame yourself for something that you had to do. You had to move on. But see, now you're looking to call in something softer, something of more ease. And to be able to do that and welcome in that life and welcome in that life of love, you have to look back at the patterns that got you in this place. You have to look back at the situations, at the friendships that didn't turn out right, that got you in this place of closing off your heart. You have to look at that habit, that hobby that you used to have with that person that was a good thing, but you stopped doing it because it was connected to that person and the outcome of that relationship, not necessarily rooted in you. I had a friend years ago that I used to, that's crazy, I just realized I dreamed about her last night. I had a friend that was when I tell you she worked out every day, sometimes when she wasn't feeling well, twice a day, every day. And what did I start doing? Because I was with her, because I was living with her, I started to work out every day, and I enjoyed it. I did. Some days I didn't make it to the gym with her because baby was a full 7-day-a-weeker, and I got you for about 4 to 5. But having that habit felt good to me. And when the friendship disintegrated, I found myself working out less. I found myself showing up for me in that way less. And then I had to do the work, and am still doing the work, to find out what fitness, what exercise meant for me, how it enriches me, how it fulfills me. And I want to point out here, there will always be times where I tell you about my personal life, what I've been through and what I've experienced, because a lot of times we look at people that we see in places delivering these messages and we think that they have it all together, even though they're coming out of their mouth and they're telling you that they don't. We hear what we want to hear. And I understand that. I've been there. However, it doesn't stop me from being human with you so that you can grasp what it is that we're talking about here. It can be very difficult to take feedback, loving advice, until you understand somebody's story. And even then, there are people who are going to hear your story. When you get there, people are going to hear your story and be like, you ain't never been through nothing. And that's okay, because we know the truth. We know that life is responding to us this way, and the universe and the opportunities are responding to us this way because of the work that we have done and continue to do. Let me tell you something. You even watching this right now is doing the work. It is part of the work. So don't fault yourself for that habit or that hobby that was tied to somebody else. It just gives you an opportunity to find meaning for you, for yourself, to ground it so that nobody can take that away from you. Let's find our way back to doing things for self. Understand that there were weapons formed against you, such as social media, that took you completely out of your sphere. And remember, do it for the gram. We started doing that. And that's okay too. This is a reset. This is a reset for us all. Self-love is not a performance for show. Self-love is about admitting that you love yourself. Admitting it. Admitting that you are worthy and deserving of love, and you know that, otherwise you wouldn't be looking for the answers. So I challenge you to let that split be something that you recognize and you actively do the work to overcome. Let that split of the one mind that's saying, no, 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 I don't want to do that. Self-love doesn't cost money. It doesn't. You already have clothes. Find the best clothes that you love. Put them on. You don't have to go nowhere and nobody has to see you. You want to do skincare? Go in your kitchen. Tell yourself that you're worth it. Tell yourself that those little things matter to you, because I can guarantee they do. When those things are in disarray and out of harmony, you feel it and it affects you. So take the chance on you. Let it be in harmony. Let it be in alignment. Let it be a testimony to the fact that you're still here and that it is your intention. Nay, I say, it is your destiny to thrive and not just survive.